Welcome back to The Vegan Runner. You join me on a rather blustery day on the Devonshire coast. Today is the first long run, 80-20 marathon training plan on the road to Brighton. 10 miles today along the coast path, starting from Westward Ho. It just looks absolutely amazing in the winter sunlight. So heading 5 miles, hopefully to Peppercombe Beach. No idea what the terrain's going to be like, what the elevation's going to be like. So we'll see what there is to see. Pretty sure there's a waterfall at Peppercombe Beach, would be lovely to see. And then once we get to Peppercombe, we are racing the light back to Westward Ho. Hopefully not running in the dark along the South Coast path here. So got to get a move on. Let's get going. Well, the Devonshire coastline never disappoints. We're less than a mile in and it's just amazing. Right, so we're about a mile and a half in, the first decent climb on this trail approaches. Now 80-20 training is all about keeping your heart rate low for 80% of the time. In zone 1, mostly zone 2. So looking at that hill, that's going to be a challenge. So I'll just ease up, shorten the stride, just relax. So about 2.5 miles in, another 2.5, maybe 3 miles to go to Peppercombe Beach. I really don't want to turn the camera off because every time you come around the corner or get to the top of the hill, just a brand new scene and a brand new vista to check out. So about 2 o'clock. Which means we've got about just under 2 hours. So on today's adventure I'm wearing Solomon S-Lab Ultra Free, which I've been using since about springtime on trails. It's been pretty much perfect for today so far. Very muddy, slippery patches where maybe I would have chosen a slightly more aggressively lugged shoe. But then it would be uncomfortable for the harder parts. Our first one. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about with a slippery mud. So yeah, something like the speed cross 4, speed cross 5, something like that would be good for those very muddy sections. But actually these are doing well. Always a challenge finding perfect trail shoe for the conditions, but these come pretty close. It's just starting to get a little bit more technical, a bit narrower, mostly pretty uneven terrain, as you'd expect from the coast path. Struggling to stay upright, and some steep bits coming. Yes, it's really here, but these shoes tend to struggle. Slick mud, steep ascents. It might well be tricky terrain, but the views are worth it. So this section's particularly slippery, slick. It'll be fun to come back down on the way back, and you've got this pretty nasty barbed wire here. And I'll be falling headfirst into that in the dark. So Rachel's wearing the Hoka One Speedgoat 4, which is another shoe I highly rate for coastal trails. Anything that's mostly quite hard packed, really good pair of shoes. Now both of our shoes are completely caked with mud. It does look like the Hoka Rincon 4 has got a bit more on it, but that might just be because it's got slightly deeper lugs. My shoes are still feeling nice and light though, very nimble. Oh, let's start to this one. Oh, what a climb. Here we go. Nice steep technical descent there. I do love those. It's always a bit hair raising. there are some pretty major climbs on this trail, but it's going to be worth it. Get to Peppercombe Beach, hopefully see the waterfall, and then make it back before it gets dark. Can't say I'm relishing the thought of coming back up these hills though. If you're old enough to remember the TV programme Gladiators, it's very much like the Travelator. My feet are slipping all the way up. Yeah, there we go. So if you've never trail run before, there are a couple of things you need to sort of bear in mind. One is pace. So on a normal sort of easy run day, I'll be doing something like 7.5 to 8.5 minute miles, depending on how hilly the terrain is on tarmac and country lanes. But with trail, as you can see, you can just forget. You can just forget all about pace, really. Nearly stacked it. You're building up strength in muscles you don't always use on the tarmac, so ankle strength, that's getting a bit of a workout. Core strength as well, because of all the twists and the turns and trying to keep yourself upright when you almost stack it in the mud. So forget about pace. And the other thing to do is to wear the right shoes, which for about 3 miles of this, I'm starting to think maybe something more aggressively lugged would have been a better option actually. And don't forget, when it does get tough out on the trails, there's no shame in walking, particularly on those really steep inclines. It's almost impossible to run every single bit of it. Essentially not keeping a close eye on pace. Don't forget to stop and enjoy those great views, and just like this. I think we've just about made it. Last little bit down to the beach, and then
all the way back.
We get to go all the way back and do it again. Yay! The last 3 miles have been pretty challenging. Very technical terrain, very slippy, very steep, but I am sure it will all be worth it. So we made it at long last, and made judgment call. We're going to run along the beach a little bit. It's quite tricky, big rock, but just down there is a little bit of sand where we should be able to pick our way through. And then you might just be able to see a little bit of lower sort of surf down there. The cliff comes down, join the beach. Hopefully we'll be able to join back up there, and then enjoy those big old peaks. Yay! Right, it'll be a bit of a race against the light now. The sun's stuck behind the clouds. It's about 3 o'clock. Means we've got an hour to make it. It took us an hour and 40 to get here, so we better get a move on. why we decided to go this way. Look what I found. Now, the last time we stood underneath a waterfall was a few years ago in Bali on our honeymoon. I don't think we're going to do that today. Right, we're back on the trail now. Little detour on the beach. It's very technical to run on. 4.5 miles to go till we get back. Racing the lights, getting darker and darker. And these hills aren't getting any less steep. It's getting darker. Sadly, Rachel twisted her ankle on the beach. She's been struggling for the last mile or so. So it's going to be a little bit of a walk back, probably in the dark. Hey ho, it happens. We'll get there. Alright, well, as you could probably gather, we didn't quite beat the light. Sadly, it was a little bit hairy on the coast there in the last few miles. Rachel twisted her ankle on Peppercombe Beach, of all places, which is like bang in the middle of the run. We had some really big steep sections left to go. Hey, we made it back to the car. We had to walk some sections. We walked along the beach, which actually isn't any easier than walking on the path, to be honest, because it was so rocky. It's not like a sandy beach, it's a very rocky, bouldery kind of beach, so you really have to watch your step, and on a twisted ankle, that's quite hard. So hey, we made it. Lesson learned. Bring a head torch next time, just in case.
And don't cut corners on a beach. Stays in the path. It was nice after, between Abbottsham Cliffs and Westward Ho, it's really lovely. And managed a 6.5 minute mile somehow in the dark. I've got nighttime powers.
Fear to get home.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to go home and have a good beer, I think, after that one. Maybe even some pizza, but hey ho. Right, until the next one, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe buttons, do all those things, comment. But yeah, until the next one,
Be the best you.
Be the best you.